Hi everyone, welcome back to Kingdom Wealth Creators. Today we're going to do a video about something that has nothing to do with the stock market, but something to do with our practical daily financial lives. Now, most people use credit cards to spend money, but I will show you how I make money using my credit card. So watch this video till the end to see how I do that. Recently, I've been in touch with a couple of my friends and helping them deal with this credit card debt issue that they've had, trying to tell them how to resolve it. And I'm realizing that today in India, there's a lot of people who are facing the same problem. I know that it is a bit of an issue in the West, but I'm realizing that it's becoming prevalent in India as well. Hence, this video to help you understand what are the disadvantages of a credit card, how and why I use my credit card, and what are the advantages that I enjoy using my credit card. So now let me talk about the disadvantages. Now there are a lot of disadvantages using a credit card, but I'll highlight a few. The first thing is that it gives you this false impression that you have a lot of money where you don't actually have it. For example, my credit card limit is 12 lakhs. And it would make me feel that I can spend 12 lakhs because that's my limit. Whereas the truth is, I probably don't have 12 lakhs with me. So this is something that people struggle with. Will Rogers, a famous actor, once said that people spend money that they haven't earned to buy things they don't need to impress people they don't like. And the credit card helps us develop this false impression even more because now we have a credit card to spend money that we don't have to buy things we don't need to impress people we don't like. And that's the number one problem with a credit card. The second disadvantage is this really high interest rates that the credit card companies charge. Now, if you were to pay your credit card bill at the right time, there would be zero interest on it, right? But what if you fail to make that payment? Do you know that while an education loan is somewhere around 7% and a car loan is like 9%, and I think a personal loan is somewhere between 12 to 14%, the credit card interest rate is really high. Now pause this video for a moment and write down in the comment box what you think is the interest rate on a credit card bill. Well, I don't know if you know the answer, but here's the answer. A credit card's interest rate on an annualized basis is somewhere between 35 to 40% here in India. That's mind-blowing and amazingly too high. Can you imagine? If you spend 1 lakh and you're going to pay 40% interest on that, that's 1,40,000 at the end of the year. And no other loan is as high as this credit card loan. And that's the biggest reason why a lot of people end up in debt. So please, if you are using a credit card, please make sure you pay it on time and don't end up paying these humongous interest rates. The third disadvantage is this scheme that credit card companies have come up with, which is called the minimum amount due. For example, if you were to spend 1 lakh on your credit card bill and then the next month the statement comes and it says you have to, your total amount is 1 lakh, but you have a minimum amount due of 12,000 rupees. And you think, oh, I have 12,000 rupees. I don't have 1 lakh, but I have 12,000 rupees. Let me give that. And then I will slowly pay off the credit card, bill. But what happens is when you give this 12,000 or minimum amount due, the next month, there's going to be another 3 to 4% interest on the entire amount that you owe. And gradually this keeps building up and it again lands people in a credit card debt. So these are the three main disadvantages of a credit card. And I would please ask you not to use a credit card if you're falling into any of these traps. So now let me tell you how and why I use my credit card without falling into any of these traps that we talked about. And this is something that if you implement can actually change your financial perspective on credit cards and help you maximize its advantages. So what I do is something very countercultural. Now, most people use the credit card because they don't have the money at that moment, right? But I do it very counterculturally. I only use the credit card when I actually have the money in hand. So basically, I'm using the credit card like a debit card to take advantage of the credit card's benefits. If I don't have the money, I just don't spend. Full stop. That's it. Very simple. If I don't have the money, I won't spend using my credit card or any card for that matter. But if I do have the money, I will always use my credit card. And so I maximize my credit card spending wherever possible. Whenever I have money to spend, I use my credit card, whether it's my Amazon purchases, electricity bills, petrol bills, Swiggy. I try not to use cash at all. I try to avoid debit cards unless the shop or the vendor does not take credit cards, and I try to avoid Google Pay or any of such digital payments. I try to maximize my spending on my credit card. Now, while I say that, I just want to make it very clear that I have no issues with people who spend cash or people who use their debit cards, or we all use Google Pay and we all use Phone Pay and whatever, all those UPI methods. There are some places where we don't have a credit card option, and I definitely use these options then. But for me, it makes a lot of sense to maximize my spending on my credit card rather than using alternative methods. So what are the advantages or the benefits that I am trying to take a hold of by using my credit card? Well, the first one is very simple. It is the reward points. There is no other mechanism when you spend money where you can get as good reward points as using a credit card. In fact, the higher quality or the higher level of credit card that you have, the better reward points you get. So over time, these points accumulate, and then you can buy vouchers using those reward points, whether it's for Amazon or for Max or Lifestyle or what have you. And so reward points actually make a lot of sense. And I would strongly encourage, we grow up the cycle. I remember the first time when I first went to the bank, I got a Regalia first from my HDFC bank. And gradually they have upgraded me now to Regalia. And so the reward points percentage has grown up. So reward points is a good advantage. And I try to maximize my credit card to take full advantage of that. Secondly, it helps your credit score. Now, what is a credit score? Basically, from a level of 0 to 900, based on your past history of paying back your loans, paying back your credit card bills, you get a credit score. I remember when I went to get a credit card for the first time, I didn't have any credit card history, no credit score, nothing like that. And I literally had to, spew out a whole bunch of documents to prove to the bank that I have this much income and I'm able to manage a credit card. And they gave me a credit card with a very small limit because they weren't sure of who I was, right? They had no history on me. But today my credit score is 864 out of 900, which is a really good score. And what is the advantage of this good credit score? If I were to take a loan, I would get it immediately or very quickly at a lower interest rate. So making sure that you pay your credit card bill on time will help your credit score. And that is one of the reasons why I use the credit card, because I want to build up a good credit score. But the third and most important advantage of this credit card, which is why I love using credit cards especially, is that we have a free payment period of roughly 18 to 50 days on this credit card. Now, normally the billing cycle of a credit card is 1 month. So if my credit card starts on the 12th of this month, that means my credit card statement will come out on the 12th of the next month. So from 12th Jan to 12th Feb, whatever expenses I have that I've used on my credit card will show up on my credit card statement on the 12th of Feb. And now, I only need to pay this credit card bill on the 1st or 2nd of March. It's like an interest-free loan that we get from the credit card company for, say, 47 days. So let me show you an example. Now, we have a mug here. Assume that this mug costs 1 lakh. Now, I know it's just a mug, but humor me. Assume it costs 1 lakh and it's in a store. Now, a friend of mine and I, we're both going into the shop to buy this mug. Both she and I, we both have 1 lakh rupees in our bank account, both of us. So when we get there, we look at the mug, we really like the mug, so we decide to buy the mug. And she, takes out either her debit card, or she writes out a check, or she has cash with her, or she uses Google Pay, and she buys the mug. So she now has the mug in her hand, but her bank account has gone down by 1 lakh. Now, on the other hand, I also have gone into the store with her. I also have 1 lakh in my bank account. I look at the mug, I really like the mug, I decide to buy it. But instead of using a debit card or what have you, I use my credit card and I say, hey, I want to make this purchase. So now I have purchased the mug, I have the mug, but I still have this 1 lakh in my bank account. And now I have roughly a maximum of 47 to 50 days to make that payment of 1 lakh to the credit card company. And while that time frame is there, I use this 1 lakh to invest using KWC's investment strategies to make a nominal return. Now assume on that 1 lakh I make 1%, that is 1000 rupees. If I were to make 2%, that's 2000 rupees. Now assuming that my monthly spend is 1 lakh, that means over a year I would spend 12 lakhs using my credit card. Now this 12 lakhs, if I were to gain 1% over a year by using this strategy, I'd make 12,000 rupees for free. If I were to get 2% using KWC's investment strategies, I'd make 24,000 rupees for free. So you see, I love using my credit card because I try to maximize the advantages while making sure I don't fall into the traps of the disadvantages of a credit card. So I hope this video has really helped you, and I hope this makes it easier and better for you to maximize the usage of your credit card. Thank you so much.